promote a product that is so high quality and at the best price you can get out there for what you're getting. So for those of you who don't know me, we're going to get started right now. My name is Elizabeth Carlin. I'm a national director with AGS, Ascend Global Services. From the training I received from AGS, I actually went ahead and authored a book called 52 Tips Using CBD for Your Health and Wellness. It's an Amazon #1 bestseller. I'm very excited about it. And I really have to thank AGS for the inspiration to write the book. It's becoming kind of a go-to resource for all of us for the kinds of questions that we're constantly getting from people, because the world of CBD is a little confusing. And it's a big reason why I wrote the book, was to help people have like a go-to resource that's easy to understand, that isn't a book that's going to take you, a month to read. So that's why the book is there, and everything that we're going to talk about tonight is also in the book. And some of the stuff we talk about tonight is not covered in the book, but something special that you get for being a part of AGS and the TruHemp family. So we welcome you here tonight, and we're going to go ahead and jump in and get started. The first thing that I just want to mention before we jump into this is that it's really important for everybody to know that CBD has not been tested by the FDA. So it's not approved. It's just like vitamins. It hasn't been approved. Just people take vitamin C and other supplements to improve their health. That's why many of us are taking CBD. So what we're sharing with you is what we've experienced from so many of our clients and the testimonials that have come back. But I just want everybody to understand that this, we're not providing medical advice. We're not telling people to put their prescription medications aside and try this instead. We highly recommend that people talk with their healthcare providers and their pharmacists to help figure out, if you are on medication, how you can integrate with and make sure that you're not going to have any issues. So please recognize that we're giving you some just basic information about CBD. It is not meant to be medical advice. Please speak with your medical practitioners to make changes if you feel that you need to. But we're going to just provide some basic information so that you can feel comfortable shopping. You know what good quality product is. You can understand what CBD is and kind of the endocannabinoid system. We're going to get into all this kind of stuff. That's just going to help you understand CBD better, because there's a lot of confusion out there. It is currently an unregulated industry, so labeling can be very confusing. And we hope at the end of today's talk, you'll have a chance to really understand CBD and feel comfortable taking your next steps. So there we go. Okay, wonderful. So I love this graphic. It's a great graphic that we all can look at and find something that resonates with either ourselves or a loved one that's dealing with something that possibly CBD might be able to help with. So it's a possibility. We're seeing lots and lots of people with testimonials that people are getting so much support from CBD with all of these different issues, and we're getting reports of the quality of life improving with the use of CBD. So I always like to ask people, how would you feel if your life was to improve because you were able to live with less pain, you had fewer or no migraines, you slept through the nights, the quality of your sleep improved, if you had more energy, if you could focus and concentrate, or weren't feeling down or kind of overwhelmed with life, if you didn't feel that stress, kind of the world is sitting on your shoulders, that stress that we all, feel some of us feel on a regular basis. And then there's some people who, their life would change if their digestive system was in a more calm state. What if you could reduce or eliminate your dependency on prescription medications or even over-the-counter medications? Again, even though the FDA hasn't come out with anything to support all this, we have so many people who are reporting positive changes in their life because of taking CBD. So this is a great little picture to help get you started to think about all the different ways CBD might be able to help you. So CBD, the term on its own, starts out as very confusing. So you'll see CBD labels all over the place. What does it stand for? CBD stands for cannabidiol. And what that is it's more than one of the many cannabinoids that are found in cannabis, which is marijuana plants, and industrial hemp. So in that plant, there's over 100 different cannabinoids, and CBD or cannabidiol is just one of those. So there are two very big stories that are kind of famous out there that really got people paying attention to CBD. The first one is little Hyde Cash. He was a 22-month-old baby who he's 22 months old, and he was in the hospital with terminal brain cancer. He had a tumor on his brain, and he was on so much pain medication that the doctors basically said to keep him comfortable, his organs were starting to fail and that he wasn't going to live much longer. And his parents told the doctors to wean him off the medication, and they actually kind of snuck in CBD, and they administered it to him without the doctors knowing what they were doing. And the tumor shrunk, and he went home up in Montana and lived for another couple of years, had a normal childhood for the next couple of years that he was alive. And it wasn't until they had a hard time getting CBD again, the source of CBD just changed, they weren't able to get their hands on it, that his tumor returned and he ended up passing away. But the fact that there was so much benefit to him from the being told basically that he was going to die from organ failure because of the medication, and that his condition was terminal. They saw a huge change in his quality of life for a couple of years. So that's a huge testament to CBD. And then we also have Charlotte Fiji, and she was plagued with severe epilepsy, with extensive seizures, many a day. They were so bad and so regular that she really couldn't live a normal life. So when they started giving her CBD, they saw her grand mal seizures, which are the worst type, they were gone. She'd no longer experienced them. And although it didn't get rid of her epilepsy and the seizures altogether, it reduced them to a point that she was able to live a normal life. And what we saw happen with the FDA is that they actually created a drug that has CBD in it. And the only drug that's on the market today is the pediatric seizure medication. So it is slowly, becoming more prevalent in our medical community, although a lot of our doctors don't know a lot about it. And when you ask them questions, they may either steer you away from it or not really have much comment because they don't know a lot about it. It's still not heavily studied in the United States. Most of the research comes from outside of the country. So we have to consider that as we're making our personal decisions on things that we want to try. For me personally, I'm somebody who I believe in modern medicine. If I have a broken arm or I've got something serious, I'm not going to just stop to, look at my CBD or my essential oils cabinet. I'm going to go to the doctor. So I am all for modern medicine, but what I've enjoyed is learning to find the doctors that are supportive of being able to talk about some of the holistic options and the more natural options. So maybe they're willing to try this with you and have a blood draw, which is what I went through with my thyroid. And then they can look at the blood 3 months later and then decide after that whether or not you want to try medication. So that's how I've been able to balance my use of herbal remedies with modern medicine, because I do believe in modern medicine. So you have to just kind of make sure that the doctors you're working with are willing to work with you. They are out there, sometimes a little harder to find. So the biggest question that people have around CBD is, where does it come from? And I don't want to take a product that's marijuana, and they get nervous about it. And it's a very fair question and a concern. And I know the negative stigma around marijuana slowed my willingness to pick it up and get started with it. So this resonates with me. I get it. So hemp and marijuana happen to be the exact same genus and species, but they're grown very differently, such that the plants end up being very different. So a hemp plants are usually grown outside with the natural sun and the soil, and just out in the elements on the farms, and it grows very tall and stocky. It usually doesn't have as much flowers and buds in it as compared to the marijuana plant. So you can see on the right hand side of the screen, the marijuana plant is grown usually indoors. So here you can see they've got the fans blowing. It's very strict controlled temperature, and they're optimizing the growth of the bud and the flower, because that's the part that has the highest amount of THC in it, and that's what they want for to be able to sell medical marijuana and all that kind of stuff. They need the buds and the flowers. So hemp and marijuana are actually very, very different. And the number one biggest difference between them as far as CBD is concerned is the amount of THC in the plant. Marijuana can have upwards of 30%, so between 5 and 30% of the plant is THC. That's a lot of THC. That's the stuff that's going to give you the high that we talk about or you hear about when you talk about or think about marijuana. Where hemp, it's 0.3% or less. So it's a very, very, very small amount. And most people who take hemp-based products, they don't feel any kind of high. So it makes it a very safe and comfortable product to use. So there is CBD that's created from marijuana plants, and there is CBD from hemp plants. You have to make sure you know what you're buying. So what we like to say in the hemp, TruHemp is a CBD line that's based on hemp. And we joke that, THC is psychoactive and the CBD is non-psychoactive, and not everybody wants to be high. Some just want some help, right? So you can take the hemp CBD product and get a lot of therapeutic benefits without getting high. And that's something that many of us are very appreciative of. So here is some important, or I will call it fun facts, right? The stuff that's out there all over the media. So Forbes has done some research, and they said that nearly half of all CBD users stop taking traditional medicine. So that's Forbes' comment on the topic. We're also finding data that supports that 42% of CBD users stop taking traditional medications for insomnia and depression, because CBD helps bring your body back into balance, and it improves your ability to sleep on your own. Anxiety and joint pain, that 80% of CBD users find that CBD products are very effective for their treatment. So they're maybe able to change what they're doing or supplement it, but they're finding relief from it. And then it is medically shown to be 20 times stronger than an aspirin and 2 times stronger than a hydrocortisone when it comes to inflammation. So those are some nice statistics that have come out over the last few years of the results that people are seeing with using and supplementing their bodies with CBD. One of the most important things, back to the marijuana concern, people have the stigma around, CBD and it being, a cannabis product. They're worried that they might get addicted to it. Well, Nora Volkow, who is the director of the National Institute on Drug Abuse, has come out publicly and said there are no addictive side effects to CBD. So it's not something you're going to get addicted to. She has come out to say that there are a number of medical conditions that you can get therapeutic relief using CBD. So that has come out from Dr. Nora Volkow. And then you're seeing a lot of stuff all over the TV, CNN, Dr. Oz, Larry King Live, Now Show. There's so much information coming out, and there's coverage all over the news because it is improving people's lives. It's the new thing that's really, taking ground or making a name for itself, just because people are getting so much positive benefit from it. So Dr. Oz said on the Larry King Show that cannabis is hugely beneficial when used correctly for medicinal purposes. It absolutely should be widely available in America. And today it is. That was back in 2014. It is legal in all 50 states. That's another big question that people ask. So hemp-based CBD is legal in all 50 states, and it's legal in other countries as well. You have to check before you travel where you're going, but it is legal in many, many other countries as well. The stuff with the marijuana base is not going to be legal in all 50 states. So luckily, we're focused on the hemp products. So that's what we're talking about today, and it is legal. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the testimonials and the data that's out there regarding some of these issues that people have in life that are finding that when they're using CBD, they're getting some relief from. So all of this information, again, there's no data from the FDA. This is not hard numbers with science behind it yet. I do believe that kind of stuff is coming down the road. And if you look outside of the United States, you might be able to find more data to support this stuff. But this is based on the experiences of the testimonials throughout the TruHemp users that we have out there. So for me personally, ADHD hits close to home. There's 6.1 million children between the ages of 3 and 17 that are diagnosed with ADHD. My son happens to be one of them, and he is the reason I started researching CBD. The testimonials out there that are all over the Facebook groups of the changes in behavior that their kids are seeing by taking CBD. There's a lot of testimonials out there just from regular old moms. Again, not the FDA, but those regular old moms out there that are watching their kids have a transformation. And I personally think it's because what CBD does for our bodies internally, which we'll get into. But the ADHD is something that some people are finding, and some of our clients are and our family members are finding that they're getting the relief from, or able to improve the quality of their life. Cancer, again, is another subject that hits many of us, whether personally or through friends and family that might be dealing with it or have dealt with it. I know when my stepdad had cancer, I was not. This was quite a few years ago now. I was not in the CBD space. It really didn't exist at the availability that you can find it today. But I do have a friend who went through cancer, and he does feel that, similar to the Cash Hyde story, that it's keeping him alive. It's keeping things at bay within his body. It's helped with him post-surgery when he's had some neuropathy. He's told me that he, when he doesn't take the CBD, he has a hard time feeling parts of his legs where his nervous system has been damaged from the surgeries. And he feels that it really helped him with the symptoms that he was experiencing during his chemotherapy. So I think of his story, which he shared with me, and I apply it to my stepdad, and I just wish it was here when he was alive, and maybe he would have at least been more comfortable going through what he had to go through. So this is, something that we're all dealing with, and there is, some compelling information that's starting to come out that CBD may be able to help. Anxiety and depression is another area that our country has many, many people that are plagued with these, with a lot of anxiety and depression. And one of the things that we find with people that are taking anxiety and depression medications is that I call the daisy chain of medication. So you'll take one medication and then it gives you another problem. So let's say you're taking a medication for the anxiety and it gives you a stomach ache. So you take another medication to help with a stomach ache and it gives you headaches, and it gives you another side effect where maybe you can't sleep. So then you take another medication. And some people are on some pretty expensive daisy chains. And what some people are finding is that if they're able to use a more natural approach to their anxiety and depression, that they're able to get off of some of these other medications and feel better more naturally. So that's something that, again, we don't have data from the FDA to support it, but we have quite a few members of our AGS family that are sharing these stories with us. So we're sharing their stories from a testimonial side. The data about the number of Americans that are dealing with anxiety and depression, that's definitely a number you can find on the internet. Fibromyalgia is, for those of you who are not aware, it's kind of one of those illnesses that years ago it didn't have an actual diagnosis. It's just something where there's a lot of internal inflammation. You just don't feel good. And women were plagued much higher percentage of women than it does men, but they were told that nothing's wrong with them, they're fine, and yet these people were experiencing a lot of discomfort. And what we're finding with the people that are taking CBD for fibromyalgia, they're sharing with us that they feel a lot better, that the inflammation is decreased, and they're able to live more comfortable, happy lives. So we have something that's called the clinical endocannabinoid deficiency. I like to say that 15 times fast because I cannot. And what this is basically is that the medical community has recognized that we have an endocannabinoid system, and we'll get into exactly what that is in a couple minutes here. But if we don't have enough of the CBD in our body is when things start to surface. So what I like to think of it as is these receptors, the CBD receptors, are all over our bodies in all of our organs, and they're hanging out trying to grab that CBD, whichever one of the, or 2 or 3 or 10 or 75 of the 100 that your body needs to stay in balance. And it's looking for those as it's going through your bloodstream when you take it internally. And those little I call them little Pac-Mans. It's like Pac-Man standing on a tightrope, and he's waiting for the CBD to come by so he can chomp on it and stay nice and centered over that tightrope, and he can balance perfectly. But if our body isn't producing enough endocannabinoids, the CBD type substances, and Pac-Man can't get what he needs, he kind of wobbles around on that tightrope, and maybe he falls off. And depending on which organ of the body it's not getting what it needs, is where we have different things that come up. So this is where people who have this endocannabinoid deficiency, they have problems that surface either as weight gain or memory loss or chronic pain. All these different issues can come up because our endocannabinoid system is not functioning properly because it doesn't have what it needs. So similar to a diabetic who would supplement with insulin, somebody who has a clinical endocannabinoid deficiency can supplement with CBD and get relief. So here is a little graphic that shows, you can see like all the little dots on the body are the little receptors that are there where Pac-Man is hanging out and he's grabbing up the CBD as it comes through. And we have two different types of receptors, CB1 that's on our brain and our nervous system, and CB2 that's found throughout other parts of the body. And THC actually helps those little Pac-Mans to know what it needs to do. So THC is not a bad thing to have in your product, but some of us don't want to get high when we're taking the product, so we like a very trace amount in our bodies. And when that CBD is ingested, these receptors are able to get what it needs from the CBD, and those Pac-Mans can stay nice and healthy and balanced. And supplement, what it basically is a supplement to whatever our body is making. So this graphic is pretty technical, but it just kind of shows that cycle of the endocannabinoid is going through our bodies. And it's really important to recognize that the endocannabinoid system regulates a lot of different biological processes. So things like relaxation, eating, sleeping, inflammation responses, cognitive function, overall balance is what the endocannabinoid system is its job. And the endocannabinoid system is actually really unique in that it has a two-way communication system, where usually our systems are like one way, that, you know, the stomach is hungry, so it sends a signal to the brain. It says, I'm hungry, so then, okay, you want to eat. And then it takes a while for the stomach to, after you eat, and tell your brain that it's full. But there's not really two-way communication. It's a one-way communication. Hey, brain, take care of this, and the brain will, trigger you to do things. The endocannabinoid system can actually has a two-way communication. So it's helping other parts of the body and whatnot talk to each other. So that's kind of interesting about the endocannabinoid system and why it's such a unique system compared to so many of our other systems in our body. One of the big questions that people always ask is, how can, one plant or one plant, basically one herb, have so many benefits without the side effects? And basically, like we were talking about, the endocannabinoid system is active in everybody. It's there all the time. It's doing its job. And its job is to promote overall balance, health and balance throughout your whole body with that two-way communication system. And it's present throughout the entire body, and it can talk back and forth, and it can do all that kind of stuff. And because you have these receptors all over your body is how it's able to help with so many different kinds of things. And again, when we'll talk about why having what's called a full spectrum CBD is so important, is because your body, you don't know which type of CBD each of the different receptors needs. We're not sure what Pac-Man's looking for as it comes by, because we don't have that much information yet. But if you give your body everything that's in the plant and all of that is in the bottle, then you can give that to your body, and that will supplement what your body is currently making. So your body is making cannabinoids all of the time. It's a slightly different chemical as CBD, but it's they function very similar. Ours is the animal type versus the plant or phytotype that we get from CBD. So it's really important that you know your CBD source. As much as you can find information all over the internet about how great CBD is and all of the benefits that people are experiencing, how wonderful it is, you can find a lot of information about how their different companies are testing handfuls of different, it's like the news companies and whatnot are like, okay, we're going to test 25 different brands of CBD, and 24 of them come back and there's no CBD in the bottle. I'm over exaggerating a little bit, but there are companies out there that are making a product, they're putting a label on it. It is not third-party tested. They know there's just a lot of not good people out there. It's kind of sad. So I always tell people, make sure you know your CBD source. Make sure you know you're comfortable with who you're purchasing your CBD from. We're going to go over the different important parts of it's kind of like your shopping list, that the boxes can all be checked by TruHemp. So TruHemp is a very high quality product that checks all these boxes, so we make your shopping super easy. and the person who invited you to the webinar tonight can share with you how to purchase product. But the number one thing that we feel is important when it comes to CBD is full spectrum. And you'll hear this all the time. You'll also hear broad spectrum, and you'll hear the term isolate. So full spectrum means it's got the entire plant, the buds, the root tips, the leaves, the stalks, the bud, the flower, all of it. All of the cannabinoids are present because it uses the entire plant. So different parts of the plant have different parts of different types of cannabinoids in them. You want everything because you do not know exactly what your body needs. Now, cannabidiol, if somebody said you're going to be using an isolate, that means you're using one type of one cannabinoid is in the bottle, and it's usually cannabidiol, which is CBD. And that's because it's the most commonly found in the plant, like the highest percentage. If you look at all the amount of CBD that comes out of a hemp plant, CBD or cannabidiol is the most concentrated in there. So that tends to be the one. If they're going to provide an isolate, that's what they're going to provide. And so some people, if you're taking a product already or you tried something and it's not working, if you happen to be taking an isolate, you might need the 99 other cannabinoids that were in that bottle and not the one that was present in that bottle. And then the term broad spectrum just means that some of it's missing. And my concern about broad spectrum products is you'd have to do a lot of research to know what's in the bottle and what's out of the bottle. So it can be done, but I prefer the full spectrum, that everything's in there. And what I love about a TruHemp's product is that it's 0.00% THC. So we have trace amounts in there, so therefore it's still a full spectrum product. But most companies that are doing broad spectrum are trying to get rid of all of the THC, which again, I talked about earlier. The THC is important because your body, it primes up those Pac-Mans to be able to know what it wants so it knows what to do with the CBD as it's running by. So full spectrum product is the number one. Second, you want organically grown product. You want it certified organic on USDA farms. Our friendly hemp plant is what's called a bioaccumulator. It means it picks up chemicals from the soil, the air, anything that is exposed to the water, and it's going to accumulate toxins in the tissue of the plant. So you want to make sure that you're on a USDA organic farm so that those toxins aren't just being transferred from the plant into your body. So you want a nice clean product. The whole plant extraction process is really important. Very quickly, I want to cover that there's two different types of ways to extract CBD. The original way that was done most frequently was called the butane approach. And if you guys know what butane and propane are, they're gases that we use to clean our home or to heat our homes. And that's not something that I'm interested in. Hydrocarbons, stuff that comes from oil and gas, is not the kind of stuff I want to put in my body. And the butane approach is used because it's cheap and it also renders very high amounts of THC. So it was used very heavily years ago, and it was less expensive. So the problem with that process is it's introducing chemicals and toxins we don't want in our bodies. And it leaves behind a waxy texture, and it leaves behind kind of a harsh taste. So those are things that you don't want in your plant. Or in your product. You want a CO2 extraction method where they're using the whole plant, and there's no additive or no additives in it. There's no waxy texture, and it still retains the terpenes that are that's like the essential oils found in the plant that has all of the healing benefits. It's the kind of the essential oil of the plant offered. It's got the trichomes. It's got all of the stuff that makes the plant unique to hemp versus everything else. And those the flavonoids and all that kind of stuff, you want the plant in its original kind of untouched form, and that's what the CO2 extraction method does. So CO2, for those of you who are not aware, we exhale CO2, so it's not something that's toxic to our bodies. And they just use that and pressure to extract the CBD. So that's really a very safe method. It's not introducing anything that our bodies aren't already used to. Third-party lab testing is another area that really needs to be high up on there. There's two main reasons that third-party lab tests are so important. First of all, you want to verify that that what you're getting, what you're purchasing, is what you're getting in the bottle, right? They're telling you, the label says something. You want to make sure that what you're getting in the bottle matches what's on their label. So that's important. You also want to check for things like, pesticides and whatnot, that you don't want any of that in your product as well. And that will be part of the testing process. So the third-party lab tests are the only way to know if you're getting a good product. And there's 3 different ways that companies choose to do this. One, they choose to ignore it altogether, and they're not going to test their product, and they're not going to make their stuff available. And that is not a company I would purchase from. Then there's companies who make it available after you purchase. That's a little bit better, but I still personally would rather see those lab results before I purchase instead of after, because after I've already spent the money, I've already done, I've already gotten started. And then there's the third type that offer the lab results before you even purchase, which that is TruHemp. And TruHemp is taking this one step further. Soon we will be adding a QR code to the labels so that you'll be able to use a QR code scanner on your phone to have it go straight to the website that shows you the results for what's in that bottle. So that takes it a step further. So we will both make them available on our websites before you purchase it, that you can see, and then it'll also be available wherever you go. You'll be kind of carrying your lab results with you, which is even better. And then another area that is important to look at is, what is your product packed in? So all of the TruHemp CBD oils are packed in hemp oil. So this is fantastic. Hemp has a lot of its own great benefits. It's high in omega-3s. It has a lot of really great health benefits on its own. A lot of other companies, most that I have seen actually personally, they're packed in coconut oil, which is very high in polysaturated fats. And not a lot of people want to ingest coconut oil on a regular basis. So hemp oil offers health benefits that coconut oil does not. So that's something to consider as well. And then you want something that's domestically grown and manufactured. So we earlier said that you want to be on a USDA farm. So if you do that, great. But why is that? In some countries, the bud and the flower are not considered legal. So any product that's produced outside of this country, you'd have to start researching all of the laws and whether or not it's, if it's going to include that whole plant or not. So you want the whole plant. So being that we just don't know enough about all the laws in the other countries, and we know some of them don't allow it, we just generally recommend against it. So TruHemp focuses on sourcing all of our hemp in the United States on organic USDA farms. And we are strong believers that quality matters. So our product is very high quality, and I view this as like your shopping guide. I tell people, take this list and go compare other products and come back, because you won't get a better price for the quality and the strength of the amount of CBD you're getting per serving. So domestically grown, our farms are in Colorado and Kentucky, and they operate under the Department of Agriculture in accordance with Section 7606 of the U.S. Farm Bill, and it's the U.S. Farm Bill that is what changed things to make hemp legal in. It's no longer a controlled substance. So we have so many different types of choices of CBD. People are always asking, what should I be taking? What do I do? What do I want? I have highlighted here sublingual drops. It's my favorite. The 500 product is my favorite starter product. What the sublingual drops do is sublingual means under the tongue. So you put the dose under your tongue, you hold it for 20 or 30 seconds, and you swallow the rest. And the great thing is the mucous membranes underneath your tongue are really thin. It gets into your bloodstream the fastest and easiest, and it gets in there, and allows those Pac-Mans to grab what it needs in the bloodstream. And after 3 or 4 days of taking your first dose, you'll notice a difference if you're taking it every day. And if you don't notice a difference, it means it's time to up your dose. So we have lots of strategies to help people get started, and how many days to take and how many milligrams per day. And we can help everybody get started so they can get success with CBD. Because the number one, then there's 2 things that I've noticed from coaching people through using CBD. Oh, they tell me, I've tried it and it doesn't work. Well, there's 2 problems that usually lend to that. Number one is quality. If they don't have a quality product, they're not using full spectrum, it's very possible that that's why it didn't work. The second thing is the amount that you're taking every day, and you have to be taking it daily to really notice those benefits when you're taking it internally. And if you don't spend the time to figure out what that dose is, and you just maybe take, the 8 milligram dose, because that's the bottle that you bought, that's what it says is, the daily suggested intake, and that's all you take, but you really needed 16 milligrams, then you're not going to feel those benefits. So here at the AGS family, we try and help people to get success with our product, and we will help all of our clients, kind of learn the basics of how to, figure out what's going to work for you so that you can get it. So the great thing about the sublingual drops is it gets into your bloodstream. It avoids going through your digestive system, because your digestive system is ripe to break things down, and you just don't get as much of it. So I love the sublingual drops. That's my favorite product. Those people who don't like the way it tastes can either add high quality essential oils to it if they want to. I love that what you're tasting, you know exactly what hemp should taste like. When the companies add flavorings to the product, you don't know if they're trying to cover up poor quality product or not that might have been butane processed. So that's why we love that our product is 100% hemp. There's nothing in there, but I know a few people who've added some high quality essential oils to it to make it taste a little bit better. I know I did for a while when I was on the 1,000 milligram bottle. And after a couple of months, I didn't need the flavoring anymore. So it just takes a little getting used to, and a little water while you're taking it will go down. But then you have people like my husband who basically are like, yeah, no, I don't like it. I don't want that. They'll take the capsules instead. So you can take other kinds of edibles, the gummies or the capsules. The problem with those products are when you're first getting started to figure out exactly how much to take. It's a little harder because it's like you just took the gummy's head. How is that half? Is it a third? That kind of thing. And you can't break the capsules in half. So I like to get people established on what product they like using the sublingual drops, and then we can start comparing to make sure that they're going to get success with the edibles. So, because what happens is when you take these through your digestive system, it breaks down, and your body isn't going to be able to absorb as much of it. And then we have the creams and the salves. Absolutely love them. If my muscles are sore from a hike or post-car accident, I found a lot of relief by using my CBD salve. And this product is just amazing. It smells so good, and it's super smooth. It's a great product. And that product, what's really special about TruHemp is that it's got 1,000 milligrams in the 1 ounce container. That's almost unheard of from any other company. So it's important to recognize, though, that in a salve, it's not going to get into the bloodstream the same way it does in the sublingual drops. And that's because the pores of our skin are smaller than the CBD molecule. So some will get in, and you'll notice a localized that you'll feel better. If your elbow is bothering you, you might feel better from rubbing it on there, and you'll have to rub it on. Some people are, 3 or 4 times a day. Or if you take it internally, you take it once, you don't have to think about it. And after a few days, it just kind of goes away. So for me, I use my salves and my creams regularly. I'm an older mom. I'm in my 40s with 2 young children. So my back is, I wake up one morning and my back hurts because I was chasing the kids around or did something crazy the day before. And I'm not that young anymore. So I use it as an additive versus my it's not my only product. The other thing people too that don't realize, you can actually use your sublingual drops as a cream on your arm. It's just hemp oil. So it's just like any other kind of oil that you would rub into your skin, and it would just add the hemp to it. So you can even try the sublingual drops. It just has a different smell in the sublingual drop form as compared to the salve. So we have a whole list of products that we'll go over. These are just kind of the categories, the most common categories. So as you can see here, you can see our pricing. All of our products are full spectrum, organic, domestic, non-GMO, 100% hemp, and THC free, or 0.00% THC. We also have a return policy that makes a lot of people comfortable knowing that if they're not happy with the product, they can get their money back. And you're going to see 3 sets of pricing. I focus on wholesale and retail, and the retail because it seems to be the most common that people are purchasing on. So you can see the 1,000 milligram CBD oil. The wholesale price is $69, and the retail price is $129. So if you are a member of AGS, you're saving $60 a month, and that's the product I take. It only costs me $10 then for the wholesale price. that I was taking the 500 and I found the 1,000 to be more effective for me. And I'm saving a lot of money every month. And this is still, if you compare our prices for retail prices to comparable products out there with other brands at high quality, you're going to see our prices are better than most of the companies out there. So this is just a quick look at a lot of the products that we have. We also have pet treats and chocolates and coffee and bath bombs. And we talked, and a vape kit as well. So there's a lot of great products out there. So here's a quick look at the bath bombs. You can throw these in your bath. Again, they're 100 milligrams CBD that you're adding straight to your bath, so that when you're sitting in your bath, you're able to feel the effects on your body, and it's a great product. And then the vape pen. Vaping obviously is a little bit on the controversial side. I happen to love my vape. I get kind of like an allergic reaction to what is in the air, and it starts to get into my lungs, and I get this terrible cough. And I find I can take my vape. I've been using the same pod for, gosh, I don't know, 9 months now. I haven't refilled, and I feel like it's been almost a year since I bought the vape kit, since it came out. And I use it once or twice a day when the cough first starts, and after 3 or 4 days, it's better. And then I, do it once a day, like right before I go to bed for another 3 or 4 days, and then I don't need it anymore. So I feel like the amount of medication I'm not taking to help dry everything up, and this is actually more effective. It gets CBD straight to my lungs. So never in my life did I ever think I would be talking about vape as something that's very positive. I have it. I use it when I need it. It's a very small amount of product, and it's lasted me a really long time. And I pretty much, whenever I find it, I can tell it's coming on, and I just use the vape for a few days. And I think I use it 3 or 4 times a year, and that's it. I've probably only used it 3 times, but I love it when I'm using it. So again, it's not something I ever thought I would be recommending, and it is a personal choice. Just so you all make your own decisions. So one of the awesome things that I love about TruHemp is that it's been endorsed by As Seen on TV. And so what does this mean? Okay, in the world of CBD, where there's so much skepticism and there's so many companies out there that are doing it to take advantage of the consumer, this is just another reason why we all know we can trust TruHemp, that our product is what we say it is. Because if you look at the products that As Seen on TV has endorsed, they're products that people love, they're products that work, they're products that are believed in, they're good products. So that means TruHemp is up there with the best of them. So I just think it's an awesome testament to our company. Another thing too is like when I first got started, I didn't know Kevin Gantos and John, and I don't have information to the inside of the company. But when it comes to somebody like Kevin Harrington to endorse a product in a company, he's only going to work with companies who are on the up and up. So that made me feel comfortable. Obviously, we got this endorsement much later, and I fell in love with the product before then. But I thought, wow, when I was first getting started, had they told me that it was endorsed by one of the sharks from Shark Tank, that sure would have made me feel better when I got started. That you have that hesitation. It's a hemp product. It's related to marijuana, and there's so many bad products out there. How do you know that this is a good product? Well, gosh. If this doesn't tell you somebody did their due diligence looking at this company, then there's nothing I can say to convince you. Because for me, knowing that Kevin Harrington looked at it, approved it, gave it his seal of approval, means that the company, he did way more research than I would ever be able to do on my own. So I thought I think it's wonderful for the company. So how do you get started? Right now, as you can see, normally membership is $200. And that gets you some product and whatnot. And I don't know when this amazing sale that's been on for a while is going to end, but I can't imagine it's going to last forever. Right now, you can join for $59. And when you join for $59, you get a piece of the cannabis business. You have an online e-commerce store. You can make sales today and earn some money. It's great. And this is such a referral business that people want to know what CBD product they're taking. I asked the guy at 7-Eleven how much CBD he sold. He's like, none. Why? Because people don't want to buy CBD from 7-Eleven. They want to buy from a source that they trust. And that's who we are. We, share it with the people we know and love, and they purchase, and it's kind of word of mouth. You also get the lifetime access to the wholesale prices. So we looked at a little bit of those wholesale prices. I'm going to save $60 a bottle for my life. And I love that because I just made the $60 back that I paid to join. So that's fantastic. And then you make it back even before then, because you get a bottle of 500 milligram full spectrum, which retails at $89 and has a wholesale price at $59. So your membership right now is a purchase of a 500 milligram bottle. So you get that bottle and you get all of these other benefits, and it's costing you for the price of the bottle. So it's fantastic. You don't see deals get any better than this. One of the things that we've been talking about is that the cannabis industry is booming, and CBD is a product that everyone needs and an opportunity that everybody wants. So we love that when we think about what we are bringing to the AGS family. So there's 4 ways to make money with AGS. The first one, like I talked about, real simple: buy at wholesale, sell at retail. And your affiliate link, your website makes you an affiliate, and that means that you can sell directly from your website the difference between the wholesale and the retail price, and that money is paid to you by AGS. They also have a series of enrollment bonuses, so that as we enroll people and introduce people to the membership program, you'll get a little bonus. And then we earn commissions on the purchases from our downline, and that's what's called residual income. If you don't understand what residual income is and you are looking for ways to make money without having to be at a desk 9 to 5, residual income is key. You have people like Robert Kiyosaki and Warren Buffett talking about residual income. It's something that we all want, but you have to make sure it's a product that people are going to continue to come back for. And I know for most of us, once we start on CBD, it's something that we feel so good from, and we feel so good every single day. We're going to keep taking it. So in my house, it's my husband, me, and my dogs are all on CBD. And then there's lifestyle bonuses. And so those are things that come as you grow your business that we'll share a few of those lifestyle bonuses with you today. But what's really unique about AGS is that this company is really here for those of us who are sharing product, and they actually give almost 70% of the cost of the product goes back to the distributors in some way. So it's a very giving company that's very focused on our ability to build a long-term legacy business that will be here forever. So they've made the compensation plan rewarding. So a couple quick samples to look at. The loyal customer is going to help you, because if they've purchased that 1,000 milligram bottle, the retail price is $129, the wholesale price is $69, and every month you're earning $60 in your pocket if they're just coming to your website and purchasing off your website. So that's just send people to your website and let them purchase there, and you'll make money. The second area is as you decide to build an organization beneath you. And if you're familiar with network marketing, this is where kind of the rubber meets the road. So right now, we're a young company. We've been around 2 years. And right now, there's nobody past the national director level. They will be coming in the next year. I'm sure we'll all be moving into this area. But we have the ability to grow a team beneath us. And all you need to do is sign up 2 people and help them sign up 2 people and help them sign up 2 people, and you're a national director. So you have to have 2 legs, and within those legs, you have to have 2 regional directors underneath you. We'll look at some of the income that can be earned from a national director as we go through the presentation. But what you're going to see once you've hit the ambassador level is that there is lifestyle bonuses that start coming into play, and these are very nice lifestyle bonuses. You're going to see Tesla cars. You're going to see just a dollar figure that comes to you every month, and then you also can see once you hit silver ambassador that there are stock options. So this is a very kind compensation plan that we all are very appreciative of. So as you can see, like I talked about, what AGS is going to do is they're going to take that bottle and they're going to, the sales that happen underneath you, and they're going to split it 10 ways, like 10% on each level, down to your 10th level. So 10 people underneath you. You can see how that grows rather quickly as you sign up 3 and they sign up 3. They sign up 3 as it goes lower and lower down. You're going to have more and more people because your kind of the triangle, has webbed outwards. And so what you can see is as you grow with the different ranks, the pin levels in the company, you have more levels that open up to you. So I'm a national director. I can go 7 levels deep to earn income on what's happening up to 7 levels beneath me. So it will open up as we get to Presidential Diamond to 10 levels. So, and also I have to mention that over, the last 18 months or so that I've been involved with the company, I have seen continual changes to the comp plan, and it always gets better. So they have these 90-day bonus programs where you're making money if you just help people sign up. It's not necessarily just the work you do, but we are encouraged to help those that are beneath us. So those of you that are on the phone that are considering starting a second business, or you have a job and you want to add your own business, or you're a working mom and you want to be able to work from home, this business encourages people like me and Sabrina and Kevin Fitzgerald, everybody who's in the leadership, to help you succeed, because we all get paid if you succeed. So that's where you'll never feel alone in this business. And this is my favorite. Tesla happens to be my dream car. It's my next electric vehicle. I owned a Leaf a few years ago. I loved it. So I'm excited for the Platinum program, that once we get to a certain level, all expenses paid on a Tesla, and I can see my face right there while I'm driving my Tesla around town talking about CBD, because that's what I want to do all the time. Okay, so I just want to bring this back to the reason that we're here. Why are we here is because we want to feel better. We want to improve our quality of life. So I always just ask people, look at this list of things, and some of them are going to resonate with you. Some of them aren't. Some of them, it resonates to you for yourself. Sometimes it's for a family member. And if you think there's a possibility that the CBD oil might help, it's worth a try. It's worth giving it a try and seeing if you can't figure out if it's an option for you and if it will help you. It's helped so many of our other distributors and clients, and we just want to share that positive result so that everyone has a chance to decide if it's something that they want to give a try to. We do recommend, if you are on any medications, to talk to your doctor. And I also recommend, if you can find doctors who are open to holistic, more natural approaches, to talk with them. And I know I changed one of my doctors to make sure that I'm working with somebody who is open to talking to me about this, instead of somebody who says, oh no, don't do that. So there are doctors out there that are supportive. So I always ask, how would you like to feel better with a more natural solution? What about your mom, your dad, grandparents, sister, child, brother? TruHemp might be able to help. So if that's the case, kind of what are you waiting for? I encourage you at this point in time to get in touch with the person that invited you to the webinar tonight. And we have many Facebook groups. So if they don't have one that they're in, which would surprise me, but you can ask them to get you in touch with me or Sabrina or Kevin, and we can get you into some Facebook groups. I know I'm starting a CBD challenge in a couple of weeks to just help get people more acquainted with the product. So you're welcome to reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook, Lizzie Renee Carlin, and I would be happy to help anybody who is looking to give CBD a try to improve their health and wellness. And with that, I thank you for your time tonight. I appreciate you guys taking your time out of your busy days and your busy evenings to share with me tonight. And please let us know if you have any questions. The best person to talk to first is the person who invited you here tonight. And if they can't answer your questions, they know how to get in touch with us so that we can help you get all of your questions answered. So with that, I thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.